So next we are starting with historical markers. 1. Peterskin Ogden for Trade Warrior. Historical marker found at Old Pioneer Cemetery in the Cascade Wilderness. Peterskin Ogden, 1790 to 1854, was one of the first white men to explore central Oregon. In 1826, working as a trapper, Ogden explored from Walla Walla, Washington, through Oregon along the Deschutes River all the way to Mount Shasta, the highest peak in California. During the fur trade wars, he had a reputation for violence and committed many murders, which he deemed a necessary part of living in the Northwest. 2. Grotto Caves, the buried caves. Historical marker found in the Grotto Caves in the Cascade Wilderness. Discovered in 1907, the Grotto Caves were found to be the dumping grounds for a local doctor and serial killer, Joseph Walker. Located in Fairwell, Walker made a living treating pioneers and settled in the region, many of whom he murdered for reasons unknown. Joseph Walker was believed to have killed over 2 dozen people, including one young child, before disappearing in 1905 prior to the cave's discovery. Although there are many rumors, the fate of the infamous farewell doctor is still unknown. 3. Caldera Reservoir, bombs in the river. Historical marker found at the Caldera Reservoir in the Cascade Wilderness. On June 1, 1980, a violent protest erupted along the banks of the Caldera Hydro Dam, ending in several deaths. Built in 1968, the Caldera Hydro Dam and Reservoir were centers of controversy with extremist conservation group Earth First. The dam's disruption of local salmon runs to the Caldera River began a long escalated conflict that resulted in 4 deaths, 10 injuries, and the attempted bombing of the dam. 4. Rainbow Falls, Path of the Spirit. Historical marker found at Rainbow Falls in the Cascade Wilderness. Rainbow Falls is considered sacred ground by the local indigenous population, believing that the rainbow cast by the natural falling water were paths of the spirits. In 1846, local settlers and pioneers sought to build a brewery on the land and were met with aggression from indigenous tribesmen, sparking a violent conflict along the river. 3 tribe warriors died to keep the sacred ground untouched, but the falls were lost to the US government when they signed a peace treaty with the nation. Now, Rainbow Falls has been returned to the indigenous people after receiving historical landmark status in 1975. 5. Peaceful Lake, Battle of the Misty Lake. Battle on the Misty Lake. Historical marker found at Peaceful Lake in the Cascade Wilderness. The Battle of Peaceful Lake, September 1, 1845. During Oregon settlement, rising tension between the pioneers and the indigenous people of the region erupted in a battle at Peaceful Lake. As the group of peaceful tribesmen moved east, pioneers attacked, believing them to be warriors. They chased the indigenous people along the river and towards the peaceful lake, killing several and injuring many. Once they caught up to the tribe and realized their error, they retreated in shame, leaving the wounded behind. 6. Taylor Cabin, the horror house. A historical marker found at Taylor Cabin in the Cascade Wilderness. On May 18, 1875, Jessup Taylor, pioneer and fur trapper, and his family were slaughtered in the sleep by locals in the region. Jessup Taylor settled in the area in 1851, and after being driven from the local settlements, attempted to clear the land to profit from it, killing almost a dozen indigenous people in the process. His brutal methodologies made quick enemies of the indigenous people and the local settlers who retaliated by killing Taylor and desecrating the home. The cabin stands as a reminder of Oregon's brutal and bloody history with its indigenous population. 7. Belknap Crater, Belknap's volcano. Historical mount marker found in Belknap Crater in the Belknap Wilderness. Belknap Crater stands today as one of the few Holocene era 11,700 YA to present examples of the processes which built the High Cascades platform during the Pleistocene 2.6 million to 11,700 YA. The crater is a small shield volcano, a type of volcano built almost entirely out of fluid magma flows, usually large in size and low in profile. Shield volcanoes are caused by the highly fluid they erupt, which travels farther and accumulates in broad sheets, building the shield volcano distinctive cap form. Bel- Belknap crater is now a dormant volcano. Its last eruption began in 480 CE, being in 480 CE. 8. Salome Hot Springs, the Salt Springs. Historical marker found at the Salome Hot Springs in Belknap Wilderness. Founded in 1879, the Salome Hot Springs were built by Rollin Simeon Belknap, who claimed the land with plans to build a resort over the popular tourist location. Salome Hot Springs has long been a landmark of the area scene, famous for the extreme temperatures of the mineral water 185 to 195 Fahrenheit. The spring emits 60 gallons of hot water per minute, which is heated beneath the earth by running close to lava beds. Salome was at one time called Salt Springs because of its mineral salt content. Archaeological finds and dating have placed Salome's Native American presence back 8,000 years. Though Salome's history has been a rocky one, it remains a staple in the Belknap region. Belknap Caves, the Lava River Caves. Historical marker found in the Belknap Caves in the Belknap Wilderness. The Belknap Caves were formed nearly 80,000 years ago by lava flows. Lava flows from volcanic eruptions tend to become channeled into a few main streams. The overflow of lava from these streams often cool and solidify, creating stacked layers of lava around the floor. After many hours or days, the lava melts downwards into the ground, giving the tube a taller, narrower cross section. After the eruption subsides and the flows harden, these lava tubes become a cave, sometimes with remnants of ebbing lava flow preserved. 10. Mackenzie's Pass, Robbers Pass. Historical marker found along Mackenzie's Pass in the Belknap Wilderness. Mackenzie's Pass is a mountain pass with a storied history. Once used by pioneers during the settlement of Oregon, this pass became a popular spot for highwaymen, especially during the dangerous winter, who would rob the wagon attempting to cross. In 1879, John B. Waldo, American politician and local explorer, was traveling through the pass when he was stopped by bandits. Feigning ignorance of the area, he asked them for help getting to the summit pass, and the bandits complied. Legend has it that by the time they reached the pass, Waldo was able to part with them without conflict due to his amicable nature. 11. Indigenous petroglyphs, stories in stone. A historical marker found in Shadow Lake in the Belknap Wilderness. Dating back 7,500 years ago, these rock carved petroglyphs stand as reminder of Oregon's rich and vibrant history. Well before its settlement, petroglyphs are an interesting form of art created by removing part of rock surface, usually through picking, carving, or abrading. These particular glyphs were done by the indigenous population, which are now part of the reservation here in Oregon. 12. Memorial of the Unknown Mailman, Pioneer Mailman. Historical marker found at John Craig Memorial in the Belknap Wilderness. The unknown mailman was a postmaster who had been delivering mail from Willamette Valley to eastern Oregon while attempting to ski Christmas mail over the Mackenzie Pass in the winter of 1877. He froze by his mail pouch in his shack atop the pass. Neither rain nor snow could stop this legendary and mysterious postmaster from delivering his mail, and though he was never identified, he is still known throughout Oregon for his dedication. Okay, now number 13, three-fingered jack viewpoint, old hot fingers. Historical marker found at the three-fingered jack viewpoint in the Belknap Wilderness. Three-fingered jack is a Pleistocene-era volcano in the Cascade Range. It's a glaciated shield volcano, a type of volcano formed around the fluid magma flows and consists mostly of basaltic and andesite lava, a type of volcanic rock containing around 55% silica. It's currently regarded as extinct. Sources agree that the volcano was first summited in 1923, but disagree who summited it. Some say it was a group of six boys from Fairwell, Oregon. Others claim it was members of the Mazama tribe. Now, then 14. The Lava Ark, Lava River Cave. Historical marker found at the Lava Ark in the Belknap Wilderness. A lava tube is a natural conduit formed by the flowing lava which moves beneath the hardened surface of a lava flow. Tubes can be actively draining lava from a volcano during an eruption or can be extinct, meaning the lava flow has ceased, the rock has cooled, and a cave like channel remains. The lava tube, called the lava arc, is one of the shortest lava tubes in the Cascade Range. Then number 15, Burley Lake, the Moon Country. Historical marker found at Burley Lake in the Lost Lake Valley. In 1964, NASA sent a team of astronauts to Central Oregon in order to study volcanic geology to prepare for Apollo 15's trip on the moon, believing the high desert to be similar on the moon's surface. One of the astronauts came to Farewell for lunar landing training and was given a silver of Central Oregon lava rock to leave on the moon's surface by the host. The astronaut took this piece of Oregon with him and left it behind on the surface of the moon, where it remains to this day. Next, number 16, moon trees grown from outer space. Historical marker found at Iron Mike's camp in the Lost Lake Valley. When the flight of Apollo 14, with the flight of Apollo 14, 500 seeds were taken into orbit around the moon. Upon return to Earth, these moon trees were scattered around the United States, with six of them in Oregon, with hopes that they would germinate after traveling to space. The experiment was successful and the trees grew and flourished on their return. Many of these trees are still alive today, including the one donated and planted here at Lost Lake. Next, number 17, Metolius Lava Cave, Distillery Cave. Historical marker found at the Metolius Lava Cave in the Lost Lake Valley. The timber boom of 1916 brought many lumberjacks to the Farewell region all seeking to get in on the prospering industry. Unfortunately, they all came to find that alcohol had been banned in Oregon as part of the prohibition. Unable to live without it, many lumberjacks used local caves and lava tubes to make moonshine without getting caught. When these distillery caves were found later, many of them still contained evidence of alcohol production dating back to the Prohibition era. Next, number 18. Architectural Memorial, the Community Builder. Historical marker found in Sherman's Camp in the Lost Lake Valley. This famed architect this famed architect, an American folk poet and Central Oregon pioneer who served in the Spanish-American War. Later in his life, he moved to Central Oregon and built nearly every bridge between Fairwell and Crescent, as well as over 30 log cabins. He was a key builder of the Sherman's Camp County Courthouse, where it remains a historical monument to the rustic art of the late 19th and early 20th century American architectural movements. Next, number 19. Booker Hicks Logging Camp, the Wandering Timber Town. Historical marker found at the Booker Hicks Logging Camp in the Crater Lake Wilderness. Booker Hicks Lumber Company was one of Fairwell's two largest logging companies, back when lumber was a more lucrative business. In order to provide comfortable living situations to the loggers, they built wandering logging towns that would pick up and move around once all the trees were cut down. These logging towns popped up in 1932 and have been wandering with the lumber company ever since. Next, number 20. Camp Pioneer, the Grand Campsite. Historical marker found in Camp Pioneer in the Lost Lake Wilderness. Camp Pioneer is a retreat and meeting spot for the Campfire Cadets and was founded in 1923 by the Campfire Cadet Organization. Formed on July 10, 1915, the Campfire Cadets is a nationwide organization built to provide the youth of America with camaraderie, fellowship opportunities, and long lasting friendship. Camp Pioneer has served as a yearly meeting spot for Central Oregon's Campfire Cadet crews and has been a staple in the campfire community since. Next, 21. Lost Cabin Mine, the Gold Mine. Historical marker found at the Lost Cabin Mine in the Crater Lake Wilderness. According to Oregon legend dating back to the height of the California Gold Rush, the Lost Cabin Mine was the site of immeasurable wealth and prosperity. In the town of Eureka, CA, an Oregon man spent his gold with wild abandon, leading the locals to investigate where he was getting it in pursuit of greater, greater wealth. Their search led them to Central Oregon, and while they didn't find the gold they were promised, they were the first white settlers to discover the jewel of the Cradle Lake. Okay, the mine has been named in honor of the legend, which still remains a mystery to the day. Next, number 22, Crater Lake, the volcanic lake. Historical marker found at the Crater Lake Visitor Center in the Crater Lake Wilderness. Crater Lake is a United States national monument and caldera lake famous for its deep blue color and its clarity of its water. The caldera that makes up this lake was formed around 7,700 years ago by the eruption and collapse of Mount Mazama. Lava eruptions later created Wizard Island, along with other volcanic features that make up this lake. With no rivers flowing in or out of Crater Lake, the waters are replaced every 250 years by significant rain and snowfall. At 1,949 feet of water, Crater Lake is the deepest in the United States and the third deepest in the world. Sorry. Next, number 23, Crater Lake, the Native American legend. Historical marker found along the rim of Crater Lake. The indigenous tribes of Central Oregon have long regarded Crater Lake as a sacred site. According to legend, the lake was formed when Skill, the sky god, and Lau, the god of the underworld, fought, destroying Mount Mazama in the valley. When the lake was first discovered by the indigenous people, it became a site of spiritual journey where warriors and hunters would bathe in its waters for strength. But after a brave killed a creature within the lake while bathing in it and died soon after, the strength its waters gave the warriors waned, and the indigenous people knew that all who looked upon its waters would die as well. Next, number 24, Outlaw Memorial, the Oregon Legend. Historical marker found in Marion Forks in the Belknap Wilderness. The Oregon Legend, 1849 to 1893, was an infamous outlaw and gunslinger of the American West. Infamous for his crimes, he was a hot-blooded horse thief who shot and killed the local deputy and wounded the county sheriff while stealing horses from the indigenous people, thus sending him into prison. Later in his life, he cleaned up his act, leading him to gain fame for foiling a train robbery, which earned him a lifetime pass on the railroad. He loved to play pranks on others and would often ride through the town drunk on the back of his horse, stealing as much as he could and paying back what was stolen once he sobered up. This hotel and saloon still stands as one of the last locations when he drank while he was on the back of his horse, a local ruffian and legend. Next, 25, Captain Jack, the Modoc warrior. Historical marker found in Belknap crater in Belknap. Uh, Kintwash, 1837 to 1873, also known as Captain Jack, was a chief of the Modoc tribe of California and Oregon, leading a band of Native Americans from the Klamath Reservation to return to their lands in California. He held the resistance against United States soldiers from 1872 to 1873 in the Modoc War. Kinquash's name in the Modoc language means strikes the water brashly. Next, number 26, the 45th parallel, the halfway point. Historical marker found near Ripple Brook in the Lost Lake Wilderness. The 45th parallel knot is often called the halfway point between the equator and the North Pole. It is the circle of latitude that is 45 degrees north of the Earth's equatorial plane and crosses Europe, Asia, and North America. At this latitude, the sun is visible for nearly 16 hours during the summer solstice and 9 hours during the winter uh, solstice. This marker stands along the exact line on the equatorial plane that marks the 45th parallel in central Oregon. Next, number 27, Crater Lake, the old man of the lake. Historical marker found near the rim of Crater Lake. The old man of the lake is a 30-feet tree trunk within the waters of Crater Lake that has been present since around 1896. The cold water of Crater Lake has allowed for a slow decomposition of the wood, merely preserving it. The stump was first noted by Joseph S. Diller in his publication of the first geology of Crater Lake in 1902, and carbon dating places it around 450 years old. The tree itself is most likely hemlock. While it's unknown where the old man came from, it does move around the lake quite consistently, bobbing along the surface of the water. Next 28. Mazama Village, the New Deal projects. Historical marker found in Mazama Village in the Crater Lake wilderness. During the 1930s, when faced with a growing unemployment crisis, the president began a set of relief programs called the New Deal Project, which provided work opportunities for the unemployment. One such project was called the Emergency Conservation Work Act (ECW), which created Civilian Conservation Corps (CCC), a conservation army for manual labor. Working alongside skilled architects and funded by the Public Works Administration, the CCC wants to uh, put in place at parks. The CCC were put in place at parks all over the country in order to reconstruct and beautify our nation's national parks. In exchange for housing, food, and a small wage, CCC workers worked on anything from roads, trains, reforestation, and revegetation to small scale construction work like building stations, warehouses, halls, parking lots, and campgrounds. Thanks to the tireless efforts of these young workers, we have the still standing Mazama village, a more beautiful crater lake, and a more magnificent country. Mazama Falls, the Silent Falls. The historical marker found near Mazama Falls in the Crater Lake wilderness. Though unassuming at first glance, Mazama Falls plays an important role in the local lore of Central Oregon. According to legend, if you can pass the falls without making a sound, then you'll be blessed with good luck. But make even the slightest of noise, you'll be cursed with misfortune. For this reason, you can find many locals passing and observing the falls in silence, each with their own tales of prosperity and disaster. Some say Mazama Falls is the site of brutal massacre, the land soaked with innocent blood, or that early settlers took shelter in the caves and died of starvation, cursing the land in their passing. Though none of these stories have been proven true, travelers near and far come to see the beauty of Mazawa Falls and watch in silence. Iron Butte Ranch, the Summer Marsh, historical marker found at the Iron Butte Ranch and Golf Course in the Iron Butte Valley. The Iron Butte Ranch is one rich with Central Oregon history. Around 15,000 years ago, early American creating migrated into the area, creating what is known as Iron Butte. Marshland turned into meadows, and in the 1800s, American settlers populated the land with cattle ranches. Originally used to raise cattle, horses, and sheep, Iron Butte Ranch became a summer home for the original owners before it was sold in 1970, becoming the resort it now is today. Due to the resort's popularity, development around the area began, creating what is now a thriving community. Wait, what? Okay, sorry, I read 40 instead of 30. I read this right. I by mistake read 40 instead of 30. Okay, let's get back to 30. The Phantom Ship, the Ghost on the Water. Historical marker found near Phantom Ship in Crater Lake. Phantom Ship is a natural rock formation pillar in Crater Lake that resembles a ghost ship, especially in foggy conditions. The island is formed from andesite rock that dates from around 400,000 years ago. 31. Camp Adair, the War Games. Historical marker found near the Cloud Cap Overlook in the Crater Lake wilderness. Camp Adair was a United States Army Division military training facility. During its highest period of use, it was home to nearly 40,000 people, making it the second largest city in Oregon at the time. The camp was eventually scrapped following World War II, with a portion of the site converted to Adair Air Force Station in 1957. Camp Adair is the most famous for its Central Oregon War Games campaign of World War II soldiers in 1943, known as the Oregon Maneuver. The games were designed to test U.S. Army units prior to deployment and involved nearly 100,000 men. Following the completion of the maneuver, the troops were deployed to assist Allied forces in the European and Pacific theaters at war. Next, number 32. Gentleman Bandit Memorial. Poetic Justice. Historical marker found near Camels Community College in the Highway 97 corridor. The Gentleman Bandit, 1829 to 1888, was a famous gentleman stagecoach robber noted for two things: the poetic messages he left behind after two of his robberies, and the fact that he never robbed stagecoach passengers, just the bank they were traveling with. While most stagecoach drivers and passengers were happy to fork over their wealth when confronted with a bandit, especially since it means keeping their lives. The gentleman bandit never robbed them, though he did use that fear of death to his advantage. Eventually, he was caught and sent to prison. After his release, little is known of what happened. While some believe he retired peacefully, others theorize he might have gone east to make another shot at robbery. 33. Bill the Grey Fox Miner, Oregon's worst bandit. Historical marker found in Camels in the Highway 97 corridor. Bill the Grey Fox Miner, 1847 to 1917, is a noted American criminal, knowing um, the noted American criminal uh, known as one of the worst outlaws of his time. After every attempted heist in his life, he was almost always caught afterward, and he spent 34 of his 66 years alive in prison. Originally a stagecoach robber, the Grey Fox decided to switch to train robbery after their invention made his previous job obsolete. His first train robbery was a disaster, and it was here at Camel Station that he was captured and sent to prison. The Grey Fox was known for his polite banditry and is purported to be the originator of the phrase hands up. Right? So that's 33, then number 34. The stagecoach legend Rushing for Gold. Historical marker found in Camel in Highway 97 corridor. The stagecoach legend 1812 to 1879 was one of the greatest stagecoach drivers in American history, as well as one of the first transgender people to vote in a presidential election in California. Assigned female at birth, he was reared in an orphanage in New England where he ran away as a youth, changing his name and transitioning to male. It was there that he was adopted by a rancher who trained him as a stable hand. Following the California Gold Rush, he moved to California, where he became a famed stagecoach driver. Though he spent most of his life in California, he often drove people from California to Oregon and back on what is now known as Highway 97. He often stopped in this spot to drop off or pick up new passengers. Then number 35, Japanese balloon bomb, the casualties of war. Historical marker found near McCullough Ford in the Highway 97 corridor. This marker stands as a memorial to honor the lives lost in the Japanese balloon bomb campaign of 1945, which claimed the lives of 6 people at the very spot. These deaths were the only World War II U.S. combat casualties in the 45 states. A school a Sunday school teacher, her husband, and five 13-14-year-old students were driving along this road when the balloon made contact, killing them instantly. The balloons were part of Japan's Fugo campaign. In all, Japan released around 9,000 balloons, 342 of which reached the United States. Next, number 36. Margaret Alice Miller, the guardian angel. Historical marker found in the old Pioneer Cemetery in the Cascade Wilderness. Margaret Alice Miller, 1892 to 1941, beloved mother, daughter, sister, and friend. Margaret Alice Miller was a beloved member of the Marion Fox community as well as one of its founding members, mother to Joseph Miller, the first mayor of Marion Fox. Margaret worked tirelessly to build the town that stands strong today, a testament of her work. Moving from Portland to Marion Forks, where Joseph purchased um, the land into a community for the forest department, and Joseph purchased the once small homestead in 1923. Margaret and Joseph developed the land into a community for the forest department and its road crew. The property quickly grew into Marion Forks, of which Joseph became its first mayor. Margaret died the way she lived, fearless, tireless, and adventurous. Gored by a buck while on a hunting trip with a son, she passed in the night, even fighting to live to see her community flourish and prosper. She is preceded by her son Joseph Miller and by her beloved community of which she will always be protecting as its guardian angel. Even though I walk though through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23:4. Next 37. Devil's Lake, view of the cascade. Historical marker found overlooking Devil's Lake in the Iron Butte Valley. The Cascade Range is one of North America's major mountain ranges, extending from Lassen Peak in northern California to the Nicola and Thompson Rivers in British Columbia, Canada. The range is 700 miles long and 80 miles wide, its highest peak being Mount Rainier at 14,441 feet. The Cascades are also a part of the Pacific Ocean's Ring of Fire, a ring of 452 volcanoes that contribute to a series of oceanic trenches, volcanic arcs, volcanic belts, and plate movements. All of the eruptions in the US within the last 200 years have come from these volcanoes, the last being the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 2008. Northwest Iron Butte, northeast Three Fingered Jack, Mount Jefferson, east Mount Tilson, Mount Washington, southeast Mount Bachelor, south Diamond Peak, southwest Iron Mountain. Next, number 38, Waldo Lake, the Oregon conservationist. Historical marker found at Waldo Lake in the Iron Butte Valley. John B. Waldo, 1844 to 1907, was an American politician, Chief Justice of the Oregon Supreme Court, and an unsung hero of the Pacific Northwest. Born in Oregon to immigrant parents from Missouri, he dedicated his life to the state to its conservation, exploring as much of the region as he could, especially the Cascades. Waldo lobbied to have Oregon preserved as national parkland. There are many stories about John D. Waldo and his love of the Cascades, and he left his mark on the region long before explorers attempted to do the same. After this death, Waldo Lake was named in his honor. Next, number 39, Snowbrush Ranch, the first alpaca farm. Historical marker found in Snowbrush Ranch in the Iron Butte Valley. Snowbrush Ranch has been in operation for over 30 years since opening its doors as the first alpaca farm in Oregon, first brought over from Peru in the 1980s. Alpaca ranching has become a lucrative pastime in central Oregon, where they are raised for both their fiber production and for their companionship. The high desert climate of central Oregon is especially perfect for raising, breeding, and ranching alpaca, providing the perfect atmosphere of the industry to blossom. Next one, Iron Butte Ranch, the summer marsh. I read it previously already by mistake, so I will skip to the next one. Iron Butte, the Iron Mountain. Historical marker found at the Black Mountain Ridge in the Iron Butte Valley. Iron Butte is an extinct stratovolcano composed of basaltic andesite or black volcanic rock composed of around 55% silicon. It's nearly symmetrical with no marks of glaciation. Even though it's older than the high Cascade Mountains, it receives less snow due to its lower elevation. Iron Butte was formed during the Pleistocene and its last eruption was nearly 1.5 million years ago. Next, number 42, Locklad Mine, the Gold Rush Mine. Historical marker found at the Locklad Mines in the Lost Lake. Locklad mines were the first developed in 1904 to mine gold from the mountain during the Oregon Gold Rush. Following an article from the Farewell Tribune and reports of gold found in the area, J.R. Black, a local businessman, built the mine with high hopes of striking gold. Unfortunately, any gold or silver he and his crew found were nearly worthless, and so the mines, like the Farewell Gold Rush, were quickly abandoned. Eventually, the mines were brought by Santiam Industries for its cinnabar. Next, the last historical marker, number 43, Iron Butte meteorite gift from the sky. Historical marker found near the Sugar Pine Butte in the Iron Butte Valley. The Iron Butte meteorite is an iron and nickel meteorite that was discovered in the exact spot in 1902. It is the largest meteorite found in North America as well as the sixth largest in the world. As there is no impact crater at this site, researchers believe that the meteorite landed in Canada and was transported here during the last ice age around 13,000 years ago. It was long held sacred by the indigenous people of Ireland. The meteorite remained in the spot for years until it was stolen in 1906. After being recovered, it was moved to the American Museum of Natural History in New York, NY, where it remains today. That completes all the 43 historical markers. Now to start the herbology. Okay, so we are starting with now herbology. Herbology, yeah. So number one, beerberry. Okay, beerberry is a dwarf shrub that is favorite of bears. The berries are edible to humans, and leaves are known to have been used in herbal medicine. Then number two, black currant. Black currant is a woody shrub containing berries rich in vitamin C. The berries can be used for jams and syrups. Both the berries and leaves are known to have been used in herbal medicine. Then number three, bristly manzanita. Bristly manzanita is a beautiful evergreen shrub that bears fruit. The berries ripen in either the summer or autumn and are edible. Now we have to find number four. Okay, the next one can be found over here in this region, just below this mountain, near this Cascade Lakes railway ambush. Just go from here to this connecting point, get over here, get down in the from the bike. I think this is it, or I'm not sure.
Always need this.
Bunchberry. Okay. So number four is bunchberry. Bunchberry is a flowering plant native to Northern America. In the summer, the flower is replaced by berries which attract birds who disperse the seeds. Now to find number five. Okay, the next one can be found here right beside Lost Lake Camp, Iron Mike's camp. Just go out and go by the side here. Here somewhere we will find the next one. I don't know now which one it is. Let's check which one. Let's try this one. Cloudberry. Let's check. Yeah, it's this one. Cloudberry. Cloudberry is a small herb that sprouts amber berries. The berries are often used in tarts or on top of ice cream, but can also be used to make preserves. Then number six, crowberry. Crowberry is a small shrub whose seeds are often spread by birds. The berries can be used for jams and the roots are known to have been used in herbal medicine. Now we need to find the next one, number seven. Okay, the next one can be found near here in this region, near this Bear Creek Hot Springs ambush camp and this fuel point, just in this turning point in this region. It's somewhere here. I don't know exactly where. Let's try this one, but I don't think it's this one. Okay, desert hackberry. Okay, it's this one. I think so. Okay, desert hackberry. Desert hackberry is an irregular shrub that can grow to the size of a small tree. The berries are edible by humans and tend to be sweet. Now to find the next one, number 8. Okay, the next one can be found over here near this rope tunnel Nero checkpoint, and there is a well near here, just near the Cloverdale basically. In between this portion, in this portion, it's here. I think it's this one. Let's see. Yeah. Golden currant. Golden currant. Golden currant is a deciduous shrub that blooms golden flowers. Both the flowers and the berries are edible, though quite tart. Now to find the next one, number 9. Okay, the next one can be found near here, just near this old Pioneer Cemetery. This side, in between Old Pioneer Cemetery, Jefferson Rail Tunnel, Ambush Camp, and Horse Lake Nero Checkpoint. In between, when this road is turning through here, take a side turn through this, through the bush, and on the way you will find this. I think this is it. Salmonberry. Salmonberry. Salmonberry is a tall shrub covered in small thorns. The berries can be used in jams and jellies and are often eaten with salmon. Next, we need to find number 10. The next one can be found over here. I think we found, I guess, number 8 or something near here, this near this position, and this one is very close to that area. Near Bear Creek, Hot Springs Ambush Camp. So just go here and you'll find it lying here. Ego, Egoceris. Egoceris. Egoceris is a small herb that resembles dandelion. Many parts of this herb are used for varying medicinal remedies. Then number 11, arrowhead. Arrowhead is an aquatic herb with potato-like roots. The roots of this herb can be eaten, while the entire herb has been used in medicine. Next, we need to find number 12. The next one can be found over here, just to the right of Cloverdale and below Rope Tunnel Neuro checkpoint. Here, between these bushes, just right over here, and you will find it lying over here.
Always need this.
Beer grass. Beer grass. Beer grass is a herb with a tall stalk that blooms every 5 years. This herb sprouts easily in locations that have recently been ravaged by forest fires. Then, bistrot. Bistrot is a name for the distorted appearance of the plant roots that's primarily used to make bitter or dog food. The root can also be used to produce an astringent used in medicine. Then, bitter root. Bitter root is a small herb that blooms a single flower. The roots of the herb have often been eaten and are considered a delicacy by some. Then number 15, blue camas. Blue camas is a tall herb that blooms in summer. This herb has bulbs that can be cooked and eaten in a large variety of ways. Now to find number 16. The next one can be found again near Iron Mike's camp, Lost Lake camp. Just go outside here where you found one before. So just go outside here and here is one. Yeah. Bull rush. Bulrush. Bulrush is a sedge herb that is found across most continents. This herb is often found in wetlands that and has been used in herbal medicine. Then number 17, corpsefoot. Corpsefoot is a small herb that grows in large colonies. This herb is edible by humans and has been used in extreme and internal herbal medicine. Then we need to find the next one, number 18. The next one can be found back near this Cloverdale. Basically, we are just going back and forth of these two places. Okay, this one is a little bit north of top of Cloverdale between this fuel point and Rock Tunnel little checkpoint. This between in this near this patch of grass, I think. Am I going in that direction? No. Yeah. Somewhere in this direction. Okay. The map shows. Yeah. Is this one? No. This is not the one. there is something here. No, neither is this the one. Like, why am I not finding this one? Maybe this is the one. Yeah, Indian pipe. Okay, this one is Indian pipe. In number 18, Indian pipe. Indian pipe is a rare herb that does not use photosynthesis. This parasitic herb has been used for many herbal medicines. Then next is number 19, mayweed. Mayweed is a small herb with an unpleasant odor. Although repulsive to most, this herb can be used for internal medicine. Then number 20, mountain sorrel. Mountain sorrel is a very small herb with a tough taproot. This herb is rich in vitamin C and is edible by humans. Then number 21, silverweed. Silverweed is a herb with deep backgrounds in folklore. This herb has been used in many ways, from warding off witches to absorbing sweat. Then number 22, stonecrop. Stonecrop is a flowering plant commonly cultivated in gardens due to its interesting appearance. Most stonecrop species' leaves are edible, though some can be toxic. Stonecrop is also used in roof coverings in green roofs, preferable to grasses. Then wild, then 23, wild bergamot. Wild bergamot is a mint-like herb that grows in clumps. This herb has been used for herbal medicine, especially to treat cold. Then 24, wood lily. Wood lily is a species of lily that blooms red or orange flowers. This herb has been used for herbal medicine but is protected in some countries. Then number 25, lavender. Lavender is a small shrub that blooms violent hordes. This herb has many uses, from food dye to herbal medicine. Then we need to find the next one, number 26. Okay, the next one can be found near here, near this volcanic legacy scenic byway neuro checkpoint, near the Wizard Island and Aspirant Butte ambush camp. There is this small road that goes up to here. Go up to here, near the back of this house, behind this bush. It will be somewhere around here. Let's see if this is the one. Yes, it's the one. Golden chandelier. Golden chanterelle. Golden chanterelle. Golden chanterelle is a yellow mushroom that grows in clusters. This mushroom is rich in numerous vitamins and has often been used in cooking. Then number 27, horn of plenty. Horn of plenty is a dark funnel-shaped mushroom. Although this mushroom looks dangerous, it is edible by humans when cooked. Then number 28, ink cap. Ink cap is a scaly bell-shaped mushroom. This mushroom can be used in cooking when fresh but quickly digests itself after being picked. Then number 29, king bullet. King bullet is a mushroom with a large cap. This mushroom is often used in cooking and sometimes considered a delicacy. Now we need to find the next one, number 30. The next one can be found again back here, just to the right of Cloverdale. We found one somewhere near here and just a little below here again. There is one. Just get here, you will find this one. Large bullet. Large bullet. Large bullet is a small mushroom covered in mucous slime. The mushroom can be eaten if the slime is removed beforehand. Then number 31, Mica cap. Mica cap is a mushroom that grows in small clusters. This mushroom is edible by humans and often used in omelets and sauces. Then number 32, scaly hedgehog. Scaly hedgehog is a tooth fungus with a cap covered in scales. This mushroom can be eaten but has also been useful in dyeing wool. Then number 33, water hemlock. Water hemlock is a highly poisonous plant considered to be one of North America's most toxic. Being highly poisonous to humans, once ingested, it causes central nervous system stimulatory effects such as seizures. Okay, that completes all of herbology. All 33 of herbology is completed. Now to this one.